Go ahead.
Yes. I mean, I've already tweeted out cute boys from my gift depot, and that means we are live for QFTA Tim McKernan Show podcast. And Jackson, this is the one you wanted. It's September 3rd, 2024. Then this is the one you're going to get.
Couldn't be prouder to be on this presentation with you, Tim.
Nice. Tomorrow I've got a sound story and then a sales meeting. Thursday, Jackson and I are playing in the Ascension Charity Classic Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Kind of a tryout for me.
Right. I think there's going to be some people out there watching what you do very closely.
I agree, because if I qualify, then at that point, that's one less spot for, say, Steve Stricker.
Right. And I think
Stuart Zink.
I think even worst case scenario, a sponsor exemption is in play.
Should be.
Right. I mean, the idea for a sponsor exemption is to get, asses in the seats, eyeballs on the product. I think you're the prime example.
If I were to play in the Ascension Charity Classic from the same tees and the pin locations, and I think the winner last year shot 9 under, but I might be wrong off that. I know it was the lowest score ever, Steve Flesh. And it's a par 70.
Okay.
What do you think I would shoot over 3 days?
Over 3 days?
I mean, all right, hold on a second.
I'll average around at a 88.5 per day.
Oh, I actually put 89 times 3, 267. That's where I went.
Yeah, so
that's interesting.
I'll go a couple strokes below that.
All right, so 3 rounds, 54 holes. Of those 54 holes, over under 1.5 birdies.
I'll take the over on that.
Interesting.
I think where you're going to get in trouble is
We're gonna have a big number.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple.
What if I say that's my max? I'm a 3, so I'm just gonna take my max.
Yeah, I think the PGA Tour champions are on board with the max, and they also do gimmies, and they play everything.
They do.
Yeah, and they play everything red staked.
Can we play the Scotch game?
Yes.
I got procs.
Yeah, they encourage aggressive side bets and pressing. They love when you press.
They love the press.
Yeah, and revert and then return the press.
Repress.
Yeah.
Repress.
Yeah. You ever played Hammer? The game Hammer?
I'm familiar with it. I don't play it. We love our game so much.
Yeah.
And my buddy who qualified for the fucking Mid-Am, so he's a win away for playing in the Masters, which is insanity.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And he goes, hey, I can't get a caddy, because people are married with children. He goes, and then there's some guys who just wouldn't necessarily be in a spot physically to carry a bag for, because I think it's a handful of days of stroke play, and then it gets down to the 64 for match play, and then the winner of that goes to fucking Augusta.
Yeah.
And he goes, you wouldn't. And I said, I don't think. I've got.
You wore the white tuxedo. I think that.
Well, there's that. Don't get me wrong. But if I were to say to my wife, hey, I know it's tough for us to get away for like 2 nights, but I'm going to go to Virginia for 6 nights and caddy.
Yeah, not play, but caddy.
Caddy.
Yeah, I think that might be tough.
Yeah.
To find anybody who can just drop everything.
You got to find somebody who actually probably didn't have a girlfriend, much less.
Yeah,
I mean, a
definitely.
girlfend probably is a different deal, but certainly a wife and kids.
Kids, it's like.
I can't even imagine doing that. Yeah. If I were going to do like 6 nights away, I'd be like, say to my dad, hey, we're going to go to Ireland for a week. I'm not going to go. I'm going to carry a bag around Virginia.
That'd be really cool if you did that.
If he were to, I'm pulling. Sean Brennan is his name. He's an actual loyal QFTA viewer. Might be watching.
Good dude.
He is a hell of a player, and I am so everybody's so happy for him because he works his ass off. And this was, I don't think anybody was thinking it was really going to happen, and then he did it. So anyway, that's going on. All right, Jackson, I got a bunch of good questions in the email, and these are new, which means if you've sent in emails and I haven't read them yet, you're just because I'm going in order.
Sweet.
From newest to this was sent on Friday. I got a Friday, I got a Thursday, I got a Wednesday, and a Tuesday. How about that?
Nice.
Send your emails in anytime for QFTA, T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. I'd love an erotic story.
Yeah, for real.
I said, it's my birthday in 24 days.
That's right.
And I'm always on the lookout for the less popular.
The prowl.
And there is a good chance that we stay in St. Louis for my birthday, making the less popular even less likely. And there's a chance that we go to the Billy Joel and Sting show, which is on my birthday, as everyone knows. And I asked Doug today if that would be a good spot for it. And he said, probably not, because everybody's going to be older and they've already given up.
Yeah, but you'd have to think that the older crowd is looking for some variety. You know, they're later in their years. They just heard Piano
Well,
Man.
I mean, I don't necessarily have standards, but I have a feeling my wife does, this evidence notwithstanding.
Sure. So you would take any erstwhile woman walking around.
I don't want to say any,
Okay.
but I have a wider berth, I think. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
I'm casting a wider net.
Got it.
I'm casting a net.
Sure. But so not everyone, some need not apply.
But I mean, yeah, if you were going to like, I got to tell you, when I went to the Zach Bryan show with my wife and our now 7-year-old, he was 6 at the time, I actually was like, I'm not sure, I'm making, snide remarks, not snide, really like complimentary remarks about some of the lasses around us.
Sure.
And then my wife, who after however many years of this nonsense, I guess 16 years, rolls her eyes. Mm-hmm. She goes, well, you might want to be careful because I think these girls are like in high school. And I go, okay, I'll pot her down. So I had to like the Zach Bryan show. They were so young.
Right.
What show would bring out the best ass? What concert would bring out the best ass?
Sabrina Carpenter.
It's a nice play. So I was worried you were going to go T. Diddy, and I was going to go, that's not going to be.
No, it depends on what you're looking for. Chapel Roan, I think Sabrina Carpenter. Zach Bryan's probably up there. Noah Khan, is that how you pronounce it? Noah Khan. Anyone who's like popular with the mid-20s to early 30s.
All right.
So I'd say Sabrina Carpenter number 1.
So if I say to my wife, hey, we got to go to the Sabrina Carpenter show, wherever the hell she's playing on September 27th.
Probably Enterprise.
Well, she's not in St. Louis.
No, but she did just announce a new tour. So maybe
she might be at Enterprise on September 27th?
No, definitely not that soon. But she might be coming.
And I say that, you think that'd be like a glaring tell?
Yeah. She's at Chaffetz.
No, I just belched up your load, Bill.
Thank you for that. She will be at Chaffetz on October 17th, so not too far after.
So let me tell you what my move is now. All right.
You don't pot your mic up a little.
Because my wife will always go, all right, you don't want anything for your birthday. And then she comes up with great presents.
Yeah.
Like, truly, I envy that skill. I really do. So she'll come up with something, and I will love it. But it's kind of like Jim and Pam, The Office.
Sure.
They would get great presents.
Yeah.
Once a decade or so, I come up with a great present. But other than that, the other 9 years, it's terrible. And so I'll say, hey, you know what I'd really like? I really want to see Sabrina Carpenter.
Right, yeah. You're really into espresso.
She's going to be here on October 17th, which is probably like a Tuesday.
It's a Thursday.
Perfect. And then let's get a hotel down by the Chaffetz and just see what the word is.
Just stand outside the concert asking these women, hey, what's the word?
That's all I'm going to say.
What's the word?
Eric Bishop says, over under the amount of times you make Anna Marie roll her eyes in a day, 4.5. Well, I don't know what you're talking about there. Because if I'm doing my job, you could take it one way. But I don't know. I think it's at a point where it's just like, okay. I'm at a point now where I catch myself going, yeah, I want to say that, but I'm going to just not say it. Yeah. And I'm going to entertain myself internally with...
One might call that growth, evolution, progress. Others might call it the death of a genius.
Thank you. Like last night, we were both exhausted. Like at 8:20, I go, I got to be honest with you, I don't think we can watch a show tonight. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And she goes, so am I. I'm like, all right. And then we usually will end up, if we're dead tired, we watch The Office.
Good play.
If we're like intellectually engaged, we'll watch something a little more intellectually engaging.
Sure.
And one of my go-to lines is, you want The Office, you want this, or would you like a stag film?
Mm-hmm. Has she ever taken you up on the tertiary option?
Never, ever.
What if you're like, this one's really good, though?
This one's going to be really hot. I don't even know. And then I could ask her, let me call her up.
I could.
She's not, let me tell you something here. I'm going to go behind the scenes. Never do it on TMA or Balloon Party. But our 2-year-old began, whatever the fuck it is that you begin when you're 2. It's not pre-K.
Oh, yeah. Just
jack around in a room with
daytime
10 other...
care. Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's school,
okay,
quote unquote.
Yeah, it's preschool then.
Okay. And she was not. She goes, should we do 2 or 3 days? And I said 3.
You were frustrated by the question.
Well, I'm just like, and she goes, what? She goes, I just need to work this through because I really think I'm thinking 2. Why are you saying 3? I said, none of it matters anyway. I said, but I think people in the United States in particular baby their kids. Mm-hmm. And I am anti-babying. I'm going to tell these motherfuckers the way that it is.
Right.
They can be my kids. They're just guys. Now, I love them more than anything in the world, but, you know.
Right.
They're not special to anybody else outside of this house, and that's the way that it is. So go to fuck around with a play refrigerator for 5 hours, 3 days a week, as opposed to 2 days. And fish with magnets.
Ooh, I like that. I love doing that.
Well, you would love the school. I'll tell you where it is.
All right.
I said, hey, what are we doing? I said 3 days.
Sure.
So today was his first day.
Oh, nice.
And the last thing she wants is us to say, hey, you're live on the podcast. What's your favorite genre of pornography?
And this is
I
live.
think I'd be staying at the Red Roof tonight if I did that. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be tough. But a decent idea for down the road.
Thank you. It'll be a fun bit.
Yeah.
Doggy season ticket holder says, I like the play for the birthday. Billy Joel Sting on Friday, maybe Evolution Fest on Saturday, Sunday, or Doggies versus Kansas City. No, we'll stick to Evolution Fest with possible playoff implications at stake. They're still in the mix for a playoff spot?
I guess if they were first and lost in like a week after in the playoffs, then I guess if you were last, you can make a late charge. The season's so damn long.
One of these days, she's going to take you up on it, and it's going to be an epic story. It isn't happening.
I've often said that if you ever were to achieve it, I don't know. I think you might bottom out after because, like, you always
like when the Cardinals won the World Series in 2006, and that night, the World Series parade, I said, I'm depressed.
Yeah, I think melancholy would follow.
It was such a weird thing.
A dog needs a car to chase. Like, what do you do when you finally get that thing that reached that mountaintop?
Yeah. But I'm so, like, certain it isn't going to happen. Like,
Right.
It's not. Like, how could it happen? Like a Jehovah's Witness is moderately attractive that knocks on the door. Like otherwise we just don't see anybody.
Yeah, I've seen that movie. Yeah, I think that's about your best guess.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. All right, we got good questions, and you can send in anything, anytime, and I welcome them. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com, and I go in, is this a sending order? Most recent? Order of recency?
Ooh.
This was sent on Friday, August 30th at 10:43.
That's a tough one.
By Craig Cordy.
Hi, Craig.
Yeah. And I believe, it looks like we've been emailing since 2020, and I interviewed his mother, I believe, for Sound Story way back when. And I actually remember her, and she truly was a delight. And I guess his brother-in-law is Matt Graves, great guy who I've known. He was a St. Gabriel guy, St. Louis U High guy.
I feel like I recognize that name.
I think he was the moderator on the Inside STL message board, which
What a gig.
What a gig. Holy shit. I owe him like a brick of $10,000. Interesting conversation about the Cardinals' attendance today. I was back in St. Louis from Chicago a couple weeks ago and went to a game against the Dodgers, which of course was well attended. My observation, it's not just the baseball side that is struggling. I thought stadium operations really have lost ground compared to what I see at Wrigley. Service took bizarrely long at the concession stand, so I had a chance to look around the concourse. The signage at the stand was filthy and everything just looks tired. The padding on the box seats was faded and cracked, and overall the place just does not look great or updated. I think their marketing is stale and boring too. Really made me wonder whether they are selling. It's that, or they have lost leadership focus and attention to detail. If this were a business we were evaluating, I'd be concerned. But I'd also see a hell of a lot of upside by simply doing the basics better. That's from Craig Cordy. I can't speak to that part of it because I have not been to Wrigley Field in, God, I don't know how long. I think maybe 7 years. And the only thing I can say, and I believe I've said this, so I don't want to get this going. We read the email from the guy who heard at a place in Ladue that the DeWitts were selling to the Crockies, and, we didn't read that necessarily seriously. I can say that I have been saying on the show, and I think Doug has echoed me on this, I think. I'm just like, yeah, they're not selling. They're not selling. They're not selling. And then someone who is in, I don't know what the right word, I know, I guess, for lack of a better term, who I talk with on a regular basis. We were conversing about what we talk about on a regular basis, And just in passing conversation, he goes, "Yeah, they're selling." And I go, "Seriously?" He goes, "Yeah, they've been looking for a couple of years." Now, that doesn't mean it. Tim McKernan is report. I want to make that clear.
Right.
You know, this isn't like I've followed up with the DeWitts to confirm. But I'm like, okay, this isn't a guy who's like what I got last week, a guy who heard from a guy who emails me who I don't know. This person I know and would certainly have, number one, it was just, I was bullshitting at a lunch. And it just kind of came up like, boy, the Cardinals suck, you know, like a lot of conversations in St. Louis. And then it got to that. And I was just like, okay, now that doesn't mean that they are,
right.
But then it just opened me up to the possibility. That's what I will say. I suppose one could immediately go, if you look at it through the lens of the price point, this would be selling at an all-time low. At the same time, those who buy professional sports franchises, I don't think go, oh, they've had 2 back-to-back losing seasons. I'm not interested. No. I do think the television situation is concerning. I do think the fact that the ballpark will be approaching its 20th birthday in a region of the area that I don't see coming back soon. And if it does come back, it's going to be a while, and I don't know how likely it is that it does come back. So that's a spot. But still, an opportunity to own the St. Louis Cardinals, I don't think you're going to go, well, you lost back-to-back, had losing record back-to-back years. You know, we're going to have to knock $500 million off the price point. That's not the way that it's going to work. No. This is my reason. This has always been my reasoning. The DeWitts have been in the baseball business forever, and I'm just operating on the assumption that Bill DeWitt III is going to replace his father. Yeah. That's it. But hey, if he just doesn't love it and he doesn't want to do it, and he knows his dad now, who I think turned 83 last week, if I'm not mistaken, is getting ready to shut it down, then it would stand to reason.
Sure.
So I don't know. My honest answer is I don't know, but there's my little anecdote on it. I want to make this clear. I'm not reporting this or anything along those lines. But that was the eye-opening moment for me in the last couple of weeks, that little conversation.
Yeah, and I'm not going to try to poke holes in what Craig had to say or even dispute his perspective. But I think when you look through the lens of maybe this team's selling, you start to see certain things that might prove you one way. That's confirmation bias. You know, I've been to the ballpark this year. I haven't noticed any drop in service or stuff like that. However, I haven't been in maybe a month or so maybe it has taken a downturn. But I think when you look through the lens, like, is the team selling? You're going to notice a lot of things that are going to be, like, in all honesty, small potatoes when you're talking about the sale of a team. Like the service being slow or seats being faded, I don't think. What
I would gather on that, and I don't know, but this regarding Craig's email, and he said it was a couple weeks ago, and he sent this email on Friday, August 30th, so it sounds like it might have been that Rays series.
Sure.
The Cardinals, this isn't just a business in general, but the Cardinals specifically did not staff games when they see that they're going to have around 30,000 people as opposed to the normal amount.
Right.
So you have lesser employees working, and then therefore that can be the domino effect that you see on that.
Makes total sense.
So
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, So you're not going to have people up in the 400 level.
Right.
If,
totally.
Nobody's going to be sitting there. So makes
sense.
That's just reducing expenses on that front. All right, let me see next one. Tim, I absolutely love it when Jackson plays the time passages drop for Text of the Day. I'm curious to know why that drop was originally decided to be the Text of the Day drop. Is there a backstory to it? That comes from Just Tim. Okay. Do you know?
Oh.
Okay. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
Did you know that song before it was the...
No, absolutely.
Okay. The cat was fascinated by... Can you play that on...
No, I'm recording on this computer, so I cannot.
The cat was fascinated, I believe it's a gentleman by the name of Al Stewart who sings it, by the amount of S's he got out of the to and pass, and then the S on the back end of passages.
Time passages.
Yes.
He does really throw a lot of emphasis on the... It's so, like, synonymous. Like, I can't hear "We Don't Take Our Clothes Off."
I agree with you.
Jermaine Stewart, not Al, but Jermaine. And then, like, that song without thinking, like, oh my God.
Somebody just sent in a great Arbor Day, just brought it. Little Tommy Tribbins. Justin and Columbia struck.
Just like I can't hear someone's like, oh yeah, this is my dad. His name's Bill. I can't.
Bill's hole.
I can't, like, stop myself from giggling. Yeah. The show has kind of ruined some things for me.
So the cat loved that song. Now, why we played it, I don't know. And then my guess is Stedman took it when somebody sent in a good text, Stedman, and I couldn't ask him right now anyway because he doesn't talk.
Right.
then fired the text.
Yeah.
Or fired the text when it was text of the day music.
Right, and that's the, kind of like the genesis of a lot of things. Like it happened once, so you do it. Like why do we play One Voice by Billy Gilman every Monday? Because we did it once. You guys did it one time, and you just kept doing it.
The show truly is an inside joke wrapped inside of an inside joke, wrapped inside of an inside joke, wrapped inside of an inside joke. That at its core, I was talking to Martin last week, and I can't even remember what we were talking about. And I go, yeah, that's essentially the shit that when we started the morning grind, and I don't even think we consciously did it.
Right.
Just being three smartasses go, oh, we'll just like make fun of stereotypical sports talk radio.
Parody on sports talk radio.
So it's kind of like, what was it? What was Stephen Colbert? Was it Stephen Colbert Show? Was like a play on conservative media?
Right. Yeah. Right.
That's essentially what the morning grind / TMA.
Yeah.
You know, like screaming about.
Yeah. Media in this town soft. You know, that's it.
Like people living, hovering around the poverty level for the most part, telling people who own an asset that's worth, in most cases, $2 billion,
Yep.
who therefore had to accumulate, most likely, hundreds of billions of dollars in their career, and then the guy making whatever is now schooling that person on how to operate their business, and like the lack of self-awareness one has to have in order to do that.
I know.
It's an incredible thing. And then you have the take on the managerial strategy from the guy doing whatever with his particular life,
Right.
but would almost instantaneously trade places with the guy in the dugout
No doubt.
about how big of a dumb shit this guy is.
Right.
And there's a good chance that person either didn't play the game or was cut, as I was, from the team. And now I'm the one schooling them on how to manage and play the game.
Yeah.
It really is a phenomenon. And I suppose perhaps Martin the Cat and I were at our peak awareness of the stupidity of the industry because all three of us were in the clubhouses on a regular basis, Cardinals, Rams, and Blues. And so we could see firsthand not only the disdain the guys who are truly playing and making millions of dollars had for us, but also just the mere, not only, I wouldn't even call it lack of respect. Like we were like flies, like oh, what's that? There's
Right.
one of them just landed on me, and then we just like get it away.
Yeah.
But then in our little world, we're the kings of our little world where we can give these lack of self-awareness takes and, and scream.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, and I think your description of that is spot on. And whenever people ask, like, what is TMA, the quickest way for me to sum it up is like an organic, free-flowing parody of a sports talk radio show.
Nice.
That's basically what it is.
Boy, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's the quickest way to say it. And even then, they have follow-up questions. I'm like, I don't think you want any more questions. But I think in the case of, like, media and athletes, like, it's such a symbiotic relationship. Like, media members need players to play, so they have something to talk about, and players kind of need media to talk about it so people have interest in the club. Like if there was nobody covering the team,
It's not a real two-way street, though.
it's certainly much more slanted one way. But I think that there is still like it goes back to the days of like ball writers when there was 10 papers in town, like you needed people reading the articles about the players to keep interest up, so there was kind of a symbiosis. It's probably less so now, considering how accessible games are. Is probably more of a symbiotic relationship when people couldn't see the games, they could only hear them, or even not even that. So, but I still think there is some element of symbiosis there.
MD 2020 says in the YouTube chat, you can watch us on YouTube, St. Louis Magazine released the A-List Reader's Choice Awards, and the fact that you all didn't win an award is a travesty. I know Jackson has been lobbying for the award. What award were we up for? I didn't even know we were up for one.
I don't know if we were. Here, I can look it up. STL A-List. I didn't know that they dropped that.
I won in 2006, and I still put it on my resume.
When you're shopping around to other markets.
Absolutely.
A-List Reader's Choice Award?
Yeah. For what category? Best dumb shit podcast that you do 5 minutes out?
Yeah, I think that's an award they got this year. So would that be arts and entertainment?
Yeah.
So they have the winners, so we're even past the nominees.
We didn't even get.
We're late to
It's a big moment for us here, ladies and gentlemen.
The problem is you have to scroll forever because there's so many awards.
So many advertised.
Radio personality, we did not win. It was Randy Rayleigh of KBDZ 93.1.
Is that in St. Louis?
I thought 93.1 was the Bull, right?
That's 93.7.
93.7. Okay. Well, but Rayleigh won.
Are you on the wrong site?
No, I'm not, because Courtney Landrum and Scott Rizzuto were finalists.
Oh, all right.
The winner was the Randy Rayleigh Morning Show.
45-year veteran with successful stops at WXLP Moline, KYYS Kansas City, along with KSHE 95. Randy Rayleigh.
Randy Rayleigh was a sweep because he won radio show and radio station KBDZ 93.1.
God bless.
So it was a sweep. So we got, shutout.
But where were we nominated?
It doesn't look like we were nominated anywhere. Frank won TV sports anchor. Can you guess the weekend getaway winner? What's the best weekend getaway? Reader's Choice.
I mean, I think I can do all of this.
Okay,
like the nominees for the TV sportscaster had to be Frank. God, actually, once I go beyond Martin, I don't know who else there
Martin
is.
is correct, and then Tamar Scher, the woman at KMOV.
Don't know her.
She is. She went to Clayton. She's a year younger than I am.
Oh, so since she went to Clayton, she's good.
Well,
like if she went to Lafayette.
She certainly has a safety net.
I tip my cap to you on that. The Lake of the Ozarks is the answer.
Correct.
I mean, but the question then becomes, what are the nominees?
You had the options of Innsbruck, which I have been to, and I like Innsbruck, and then Herman.
Okay, all right.
The sports team winner was the Cardinals. They won the A-list despite. Let's see. Then there was
who are the? I assume it was the Blues and Battlehawks and City.
No, City. Battlehawks got shut out.
Yeah, St. Louis Magazine doesn't necessarily circulate
movie
in
theater
Battlehawks territory. Best movie theater.
Yeah.
Chase Park Plaza.
No. God.
Plaza Frontenac.
No.
Ronnie's
wins.
Ronnie's wins, but the Battlehawks don't get nominated.
I know.
That's fucking me up, man.
Is that big loss for South County? Ronnie's is my favorite, by the way. 20 screens, baby. You can't compete. Yeah.
Are you wearing a St. Louis Starter Packs t-shirt?
No, it's a New Balance.
Oh, all right. Like off to the side, it looked like a St. Louis Starter Packs.
We haven't started. We haven't merched yet. It's coming soon, though.
I would buy those, and I would wear those all day long.
No, you would.
You need to get on that.
Yeah. Stay tuned. I know this is like my Kawhi Leonard
for
New
today.
Balance.
No Ella Reese. Boy, do you see Ella Reese like lesbianism out on Instagram this weekend?
I wasn't on the
she was
TMA.
on a boat.
I was on the TMA Instagram.
Oh my God, it was great.
Yeah, let me take a look. She was. Is this on her story? So this was. I can't go back. And
look. Yeah, maybe it's gone.
That sucks.
Oh, sorry.
Boy, every time I open the TMA Instagram account, it's some woman taking a selfie with duck lips.
That's who we follow.
I guess.
I never look at it. I mean, I never log in as it, I guess.
One hell
Who posts our shit? You or KG?
Both.
Oh, is that right?
Both.
Doug doesn't get in there and.
The people out there don't get to witness Doug battle with technology, but it's one of the funniest things of all time. It's one of the funniest things of all time. If you give him instructions, and God bless Doug, because he's world class. Yeah, just world class. But I do, when I start giving instructions on certain things, like slow down. I got step by step here.
He does
I was just like,
down.
all I said was right click something. Take a beat.
Let's see. Wow. Somebody's. I don't know if this is an apology or what. Tim, I wanted to tell you that a few months ago you mentioned a dinner with Petro, and people said it was a humble brag. I was one of those people you called out, but I texted it as a joke. I don't think I was necessarily calling. Here, the story on that was, let's see, we went to my wife. There was a death in the family, and so we had a babysitter watching our two boys, and it was a Tuesday or Wednesday night. And as parents will speak to, it gets to a point where if you have a babysitter and you actually have a little time, you go, we don't care, it's a Tuesday or Wednesday night, we're going to just have dinner because that allows us to actually have a conversation without somebody screaming in the background. So we're like, we've never been to Pepe's apartment too. You ever been there?
Mm-mm.
And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a social experiment.
Okay.
Because I find the story to be amusing, but with TMA, I've decided that there's an obsessiveness with listeners that I don't think it exists on Balloon Party. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
I don't necessarily know the why on it.
Right.
I just know, and you are on it as well, and I would imagine, but I mean, nobody else on 101 has, another thing like this.
Right.
So I'm like, let me see how. So I'm not going to talk about it on TMA, and I'm only going to talk about it on Balloon Party, and then I'll see what winds up happening. It's my little social experiment.
Right.
And so I tell the story of what wound up happening. We went there. It was a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and I'm in a suit, which I never wear unless I'm going to a wake or funeral. And my wife's dressed up because we were at this, wake. And it's a Tuesday night, and we sit down, and I noticed that there was a younger couple next to us. But I mean, I didn't, I go, let me see what's doing over here with your bride.
Like you at the Sabrina Carpenter show.
Yes. Yeah.
Seeing what the word is.
And I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And then a guy comes over and says, "You are the most striking couple to us."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's a lovely sentiment.
Yeah. You guys are striking.
It's a lovely sentiment that you can't say with a straight face.
I'm too close to the situation.
But I get, and this guy was like an older. This wasn't like a, guy who's worked out at Lifetime. He's going to be at 801 later. He's just like on the off chance taking a shot, putting a puck on the net. This is like an older guy, probably in his late 60s.
Wearing the necklace that detaches.
He's a burlier gentleman with his like a couple, like 2 or 3 older couples.
Sure.
And that restaurant is not a large restaurant, so he comes over and says, "I bet do you guys have kids?" And we said yes. And he goes, "I bet you never get a chance to have time, and you look so nice. Would you like me to take a picture?" It was a lovely sentiment as well.
Sure.
His was lovely. Yours was horseshit. and the whole time in my mind, I'm like, I get the deal here.
Yeah.
And I understand it, and I'm fine with it. I suppose it's the cost of doing business, and it's fine.
Sure.
But if this was me with somebody more within my bell curve range of who I should be with physically, this guy wouldn't be over here, and everybody in the world knows it, including this guy, who I'm sure is in the YouTube chat right now watching.
Deep voice dude.
Deep voice, dude.
Yeah. You played a great game there. Finessed you.
And so we take the picture, and he's kind of loud. I mean, it's a small restaurant, so it's loud. And Anna Marie goes, "Well, that was really nice, especially considering the couple, like as it turns out, is, from me to, I know not everybody's watching this. Fuck, there's only 31 people watching. Hello, though. It's a nice looking couple, whatever.
Yeah, 5 feet from you.
Low, way less than that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever. Nice sentiment. I get the deal. You're good looking. Whatever the fuck I am. Fine. God bless. I've heard it for 16 years.
Yeah.
And that was it. And she goes, probably, but I mean, that couple's really nice looking. Or she could see the wife. And, for her, anyway, whatever. We go on about our dinner. Then, about 20 minutes in, the couple gets up. And it turns out that it was Alex Petrangelo and his wife. And I guess that's one of their favorite restaurants. He was in town. I think his wife was a Rams cheerleader.
Okay.
And she's from here, obviously. And so that's their place that they like to hit. Fuck
Sure.
if I know. I don't know. One of the Blues alumni loved the story and was texting me about it.
Oh, yeah.
But not because, like, oh, it's great that Petrangelo eats at Pepe's, but because of...
Yeah, the whole story.
Well, I mean, he's like... 6'5", full head of hair.
Yeah.
Has hoisted the chalice twice.
Yeah.
I'm fabulously wealthy.
That's right.
We know that.
Right.
I think he has more than I do.
Yeah.
I think he does.
Remember, this is the NHL.
You could have used that on one.
Salary cap league.
And so then I see him, and I'm going, well, now this is really goofy.
Yeah.
Like it was in a vacuum.
Right.
I could have been at, the Red Lobster off Lindbergh, and I would have gone, I still get what's going on.
Right.
But now I got him and her, and they were sitting right next to us, and he had to have, or she had to have gone, I wonder if this is like a joke.
Right. Like
You know what I mean?
A plant.
Because I remember walking in, and I remember they kind of looked at us,
Right.
but I just, I kind of keep my head, my head down, but I just have the corner of my eye. But I'm just like, if anything, honestly, I'm like, oh, it's nice that there's a, younger, thin couple that's out in St. Louis on a Tuesday night. That's honestly what I was thinking.
Yeah. Like finding a good apricot. Best of luck.
That's all I thought. I just wondered about my meal.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to my dish. I've heard good things. I'm looking forward to my dish.
Yep. Start talking like Vital.
So I know there'll be guys like, if I tell the story on TMA, I know there'll be guys like who like take both their hands and like furiously jerk off when something good happens to me.
Right.
Yeah. And then whatever. So I'm just like, all right, I'm not even going to, we already know what that deal is. But let me see what happens if I tell this story on 101. And for the most part, it was like people thought it was amusing. But there still was some, what we deep down know was envy.
Right.
But we can't say that. But we're going to say it here. Envy that spewed out as,
Right.
take your pick of whatever. But if I would have said it on TMA, it would have been
Lit up like a Christmas
forest
tree.
fire.
Yeah,
Forest
totally.
fire.
100%.
Forest fire.
If you would have said it on here, I think it would actually, I think 101 is like the best spot to do it.
I think here's a safe space. Safer than
Safer.
TMA space.
Yeah, I think like,
I would rank the hatred weirdly. TMA number one. Nobody else is even in second place. Then, strangely, the Tim McKernan show, where you have to seek it out, and we don't even know when we're going to do it.
nope.
Here,
Yeah.
and then 101 actually, where I talk about how we're hated. But I think we're hated least.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm hated least, I should say.
Well,
You
yeah.
might be hated more, but I don't know if they. I don't know if I think they hate the guy I've created for you.
Yes.
the Jackson avatar.
But the people who love me, that's the deepest connection out there is the love.
But they appreciate it because they're like, yeah, this guy's right about the NHL.
Well, just kind of different perspective. No coincidence that no other city has just baseball and hockey.
Is that true?
Yeah,
That is true?
Think of another. There's plenty that have just basketball and football.
It used to be Tampa and St. Louis and Pittsburgh were the basketball, football, and NHL, and that was it.
Baseball, football, and
That's right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And no.
And now it is baseball and hockey?
No other city has just those two.
And that deep voice dude, who I believe is you in the YouTube chat on 101.
Yeah,
He's
under
like,
the table.
Tim and Jackson, the only guys to acknowledge that if you don't have football and basketball, you got a problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. Who's denying that? Like, is there anybody like saying no? If you could have the choice, the NFL or NBA or MLB or NHL, you're gonna like who's gonna really like honestly really say that? Honestly, really say that? Like as far as like not what you like,
Sure.
but what is better for the region as far as attendance and revenue.
Oh. I'm not saying most, but I'm saying there would be that pocket who would be like, no, we
So
got
even
it
if I
going on.
presented the data,
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter.
okay.
Well, I'm locked up with you, but I think that there still be people out there like, nope, we nailed it. Everyone else is doing it wrong.
All the radio awards went to some dude in station I've never heard of. It seems like it was an inside job. That's our MD 2020. I got to tell you something. MD 2020, I'm going to look right here for you. These awards, which oftentimes my brother's Operation Donut Drive-In wins, I think he would be the first one to tell you. Lovely sentiments. I've won them. Lovely sentiments.
Yeah.
That's it. But as far as like, I'll always go back to this. That's what the money's for.
Right.
You can give me the award, or you can give me.
And you'll take the award every day.
You're damn right.
Do you know what won Best Burger?
I mean, whoever's spending the most money advertising, and I don't have their records, they're probably not a publicly traded company.
I actually think the three finalists, I haven't been to one of the joints, but two of them I can speak with.
Max has to be live.
Who's nominated did not win.
Okay. Ah, fuck.
You actually guessed it for the, I guess you didn't guess it for the movie theater, but it is also a movie theater.
I don't know.
High Point.
Oh, okay.
And it ended up winning.
I enjoy High Point. I do enjoy High
Tough to
Point.
park
I
there.
get it on my birthday. That's the only time I ever get it. It's a
My
weird
brother
deal.
gets it on his birthday,
It's
too.
a weird deal. I think they send the little text saying, it's your birthday, you get this. And I've known Mike Johnson, for 20 plus years. Boy, that
dude.
guy, God bless. Oh, you know him?
He opened the first Sugar Fire is in Olivet, the
Yeah.
OG location, so he would always be in there. And his son also was a year younger than me, went to Clayton.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah. Went to Mizzou, too.
So High Point, Max, I mean, anything is kind of, Olive Oak, Carl's.
Twisted Tree was the other nominee.
I've never been to Twisted Tree.
Neither have I. But I hear great things.
I do hear great things. I feel like I had one recently where I was like, oh my God, this is cum diddly-umptious.
It's going to be in there. Billboard. Cum diddly-umptious.
Tim McKernan's
Tim
is our
McKernan.
burger. It's cum diddly-umptious. Who's he? He won A-list in 2006. It was huge. Let's see what we got. I remember tuning in for the first time in 2011, January, because y'all were interviewing TLR, being very confused by the cat and dog were talking about what pair of pumps would look best at spring training.
Still a good topic today.
Yeah, thank you. It's timeless, evergreen. Don't worry, Matt Carpenter won Best Cardinal. Is that true? That's from Chris Bray.
I didn't see that. I didn't see, I guess they probably have Best Athlete, but I didn't see necessarily, Best Cardinal player, but I can take a look.
The Call newspaper is more Battlehawks territory. I don't know what that means.
The Call newspaper?
Are you familiar with the paper called The Call?
Lauren Bacall?
Lauren Bacall, I believe, yeah.
I guess this would be in arts and entertainment.
Do you think Scott should be getting playing time like Walker? Oh, this is like a Cardinal question. Seems like Siani will be getting most of the reps, but not sure he's looked at as a future center fielder. My opinion, and Jackson Knight has bet this, and he could Venmo me the $10 now, and I'll invest it for him, is that whoever the people are making the decisions for this roster now will not be involved for opening day 2025. That is my belief. Jackson thinks Ali Marmol, John Mozeliak will be still in charge on opening day 2025, and he also has game day being at Georgia, Kentucky in 11 days.
Yep, 3-1 parlay on that. The best Cardinal player was Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, I mean, and so these aren't my people, It's not, my thing is there are certain people in our industry I don't want saying good things about me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No.
And if you're voting Matt Carpenter as best Cardinal, you're probably not a big TMA fan, unless you're the Dotem bot. Yeah. Well, the Dotem bot that gets 1380, the woman is best radio station.
Right, which I still think is the champion.
Let's see, Alexander Cole. Well, we got a lot of YouTube chat. To follow up, I came from Balloon Party. I listened to all your stuff. I had a hunch it was a humble brag thing, so I texted in to be an asshole, but I wasn't serious. Doff my cap to you and you're well. Thank you. Fabulously wealthy. Yeah, the guys who really mad. You're just saying your wife's hot. I'm like, I don't know. I'm actually shitting on my appearance. That's the point of the story.
Can't win.
And I never tell the story if Alex Petrangelo's not sitting next to me.
Right.
Why the fuck would I tell the story? I've had plenty of motherfuckers pop up on my social media and say, boy, your wife's really hot. You're not. And I don't stop and say, hey guys, well, guess what happened? That's been going on forever.
Right.
I'm well aware of it. It's not even some people will blatantly say it. I guess this is a fucking humble brag. Do with it what you want. Edmonds had a birthday party. I think it was during the pandemic in 2020. And it would have been 2020. He gets a room at a restaurant. Whatever, fuck, everybody's going to say. I don't care.
Pesci is coming out major.
But I was like, God, that was almost over the top. What happened? So I don't know how many people were there. Maybe 16, 4 on each side of a big table. At was it Capitol Grill in Clayton? Used to be J-Bucks. Fuck, I don't know. We're all sitting there with masks. And Harrison Bader is sitting on my right, and we're bullshitting. Really good guy.
Sure.
And I was all excited when the Cardinals traded him in 2022. I'm able to compartmentalize the two things, but he really is a great.
That's what the money's for.
That's what the money's for. Great guy. God bless. Really great guy. And my wife's on my left, and this guy, nice guy, doctor goes, well, I think the question in this room is, what is Anna Marie doing with Tim? And I'm just like, what the fuck was that?
Kind of stray like that.
Yeah, I mean, just there's, you got Edmonds, Harrison Bader,
Right.
Edmonds' now wife, I don't remember who else was there. I feel like there were another couple Cardinals there. And it's nobody even knows who the fuck I am. And just out of nowhere, it's just we got to call attention to it. This isn't fun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd prefer to be not bad. It's so bad that people are just fuck it, let's just talk about it.
I don't know. A lot of these people, it's not like they're Adonises. They're
Well, I mean, I'm certain I was the poorest person in the room, without question. This guy was a doctor.
Yeah.
And then you had, ball players.
Sure, but...
Yeah. I'm getting height shamed, appearance shamed, career shamed, wealth shamed.
The career shaming, I guess, is valid.
I
Because
agree
you
with
have the
that.
choice in that. You can't control how tall you are or what you look like.
I can do that surgery.
Yeah. I mean, but you're in good shape. It's not like you're heavy or anything.
So anyway.
I'm not here to litigate your appearance, but
The Petrangelo thing was why I told the story. But the bigger thing was like, this is amusing as fuck. I told a handful of people at night, like actual friends who I know and interact with, not people I didn't talk to at Hot Shots one night 14 years ago. And they're like, that is outstanding. You got to tell that story on the show. And I'm like, I will, but I'm not going to tell it on TMA. I'll tell it on Balloon Party as part of a social experiment because I believe there are people ferociously masturbating, hoping for my downfall.
yeah.
And so let me test it on Balloon Party where I don't sense obsession.
Right.
The people on 101, they just listen to 101 all day.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think. I don't know this, but that's what I
I
think.
think we've recruited a couple over.
We have. Well, we absolutely have.
Yeah.
But in general. Let's see. Never understood the hate given. I get someone giving shit about good things that happen as a joke, but like I have you guys on BC. Oh, on because I enjoy all the shit you guys talk about. It's like friends in the room. Thank you, Doggy Season Ticket Holder.
Yeah.
I had something. I think we got an email. I didn't send it to you, so I'd be playing it off my phone, which isn't the way to go about doing it.
Iggy did it a couple times.
Did he? How'd it sound?
Awful.
I wonder if I can send
Well, that
it
might
to
have
you.
been more the content than it was the actual.
But you
audio.
wouldn't be able to play it anyway through
No, but you could play it on the speaker.
Okay.
And I could put it in post.
But it for
afterwards.
real, it was like, I'm like, oh, this kind of sums up what somebody emailed in. And it's like, yeah, I kind of like, inevitably, I don't know, I'm not going to fuck with it. But it was good. It was a good perspective. Maybe I will at some point, but let me good. Stacked is solid. So Twisted Tree, Max,
And High Point were the
High Point.
burgers.
What would you put in there? See, we haven't been to everywhere.
So I haven't been to Twisted Tree, so I'll replace it just because I haven't been there, because I do think High Point and Max should be in that conversation. I would go with, the burger at Olive and Oak is crazy. That stuff is really good. But in terms of like straight Carl's.
Oh, I know where I was going. I'm like, what is this that I haven't thought? Rights.
Oh, okay.
But then that's another fucking humble brag.
Yeah. Must be nice. There's no winning sometimes, Tim. Sometimes you just.
I hadn't been in, and then like my buddies are like, "You really haven't been there?" And then like right now, I say that I finally got able to eat there a couple weeks ago, and then but holy shit!
Is it really?
Oh my god!
All right.
That's one of those places like you hear about it, and you're like, "Okay, are people just doing this because it's like the thing in our little," as Charlie Tuna says, Petticoat Junction. But it is so fucking good.
All right.
Like I get it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah, when you propose, I think that's the place it goes down.
Is that right?
I think that's the place it goes. It's on Y Downs, and then it works for the Ladue thing.
Yeah. Well, still in.
Cucky the Dwarf says Fuddruckers. I got to tell you, back when I was a tyke, and I don't think there was one in St. Louis, but when we'd be out of town in Hilton Head, there was one there, and we couldn't wait to go to Fuddruckers.
It's like you can customize your own burger.
I
Right?
loved it. And they had like potato wedges.
Ooh, that's a people have they've disrespected the wedge so much so that no one uses it anymore. A delicious potato option.
I couldn't agree more. I
wedge is
loved
great.
Fuddruckers. Thank you, Cucky the Dwarf. You're right.
You just go to KFC just for the wedges.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for bringing us joy on this wonderful podcast. Please take good care of yourselves and your families. Make it a great month. That's from One Mil Clog.
Okay.
Now, you feel like he's mocking Jake Reynolds.
I do. Well, now it's unfortunate for everybody because if someone was trying to be positive, it would just be met with a downfall of shitting all over them because we think that they're cribbing from Jake Reynolds. But if that is just positive, thank you.
Carlos Spicy Winter says you both would enjoy Twisted Tree. It's more traditional burger, not smashed. Well, maybe that would be the move.
I really like smash burgers, though.
I'm happy to try any burger.
Sure, but in a vacuum, I kind of like the crispier edges on it.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think they've kind of nailed that.
Sneaky good burger at Woofie's off page. Known for hot dogs, of course, but tasty burger as well. It's Joshy Tuna.
Great dogs. I've been there a million times for dogs. Never had a burger there.
Mizzou now top 10 in AP. I would think so.
Did
It would have
that
been weird
just
if they
come out?
weren't.
Probably just came out at 11.
I would guess they're 10.
Let's take a look, Tim.
D'Angelo Hopkins says it's true. It's true. It's
Damn true.
number 10 exactly. Doggy season ticket holder.
Yep. Oh, yeah, this Brent McMurphy didn't have him in the top 10. Yeah, but 14.
Oh, that's Drinks guy.
Yeah. Liberty Bowl. Yeah. Top 10. What?
One Little Clock says Twisted Tree's bad.
I can't imagine.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I've never
I hear
heard
great
them.
things.
It's bad. I've heard people. I'm into it.
Guys, Dubois Lanes used to have a great burger. That's from Cocky the Dwarf.
What is this place?
Dubois Lanes.
Oh, I have some buddies who play at Dubois.
No, you don't.
Something like
That's
that.
just not possible.
No, I swear on everything.
This is like, I'm going to make a moment to be relatable. And it's just, it's just not, it's just not possible.
100%.
Dubois Lanes off of like Gravois or
Lee May
Watson
Ferry,
Road.
it says, yeah.
Lee May Ferry?
Yes, I have.
You have buddies who went to Ladue.
No.
What do they like? Do the Salvation Army thing there?
These are Fear the Cavalier gentlemen. These are DB Proud Boys.
I'm surprised you associate with guys from DB.
I shouldn't say DB Proud Boys. That's a bad combo of words. Bishop de Burgh, gentlemen who love going to Dew Bowl.
Really?
I've never been.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Carlos Bicewinter says the Fuddruckers, the one in South County, is becoming a Shake Shack to bring back the great burger Bermuda Triangle of Lindbergh, Watson, Steak and Shake, Shake Shack, and Five Guys, all within a Sam Bradford check down.
Yeah, that's the one right there on Watson by the Toys R Us. They used to be there.
And Helen Fitzgerald's for Wingy Wingy.
Yeah.
And Crinkle Cuts, if you don't mind.
And isn't that the Steak and Shake or the White Castle?
I didn't know that was open.
But wasn't that the White?
It's apparently just a drive-through.
Yeah.
There's a White Castle on the other side of 44.
Wasn't the guy perturbed when you went up to?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
like
the
we
one?
got done doing one of those, like we do 70 TMA lives at Hot Shots because they were the only account left at KFNS at the end when we were there.
It was really fun.
And, hey, big boy, we just need to do another. and so I'm like, okay, I got done with the TMA live. I'm going to reward myself. My wife, I don't know if my wife hates pornography or White Castle more. Video games, cigarettes. Yeah, I think that's her Mount Rushmore, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is this your Mount Rushmore of things you hate? Pornography, White Castle, smoking, and video games.
Take out smoking. You can make an argument that's my Mount Rushmore of favorite things. I really love White Castle.
And I pull up, and it's like 10:30, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to destroy my body.
Yeah,
I don't care.
12 cheese castles.
What does it matter? And there's nobody there, and it's like a Thursday night, I guess. And the guy opens up his mic for the drive-thru, and he goes, welcome to White Castle, what do you want? And I'm like, fuck this. This guy is about to ejaculate all over my White Castles.
Like Anthony Anderson and Harold and Kumar.
God, yeah. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I just pull around, and he's looking out the window. I'm like, we're both better for me making this decision. Trust me.
Shout out to Anthony Anderson.
God damn. Clancy's in Baldwin. Awesome burger. Clancy's a great call. Cucky agrees with the Hunchback of Von Castle. The Haven on Morganford had a great burger. I think they just closed down. Owner passed. What won best pizza? Good question. That's from MD 2020.
That's a good question. My favorite is Pizza de Gloria on the Hill. That's my favorite.
I've heard people, I get the sense I wouldn't like it from the description.
I think you would.
Isn't it kind of like a...
It's like brick oven, like it's the bottom's real nice and charred. They have a good pepperoni pizza with jalapenos on it. I'm a big fan, and it's about a 4-minute walk for me, but I'm moving. So, where is pizza? It surprised you to know that they have a lot of categories here. All right, pizza non-St. Louis style. The nominees were...
I would guess Dewey's then.
Dewey's is the winner.
Oh, I hit the winner.
Dewey's is the winner.
Is Pizza Go? Pizza Go is probably too small for...
No.
But I'd put it on there.
Pizza Head, which I've never been to, and Twisted Tavern both got nominated for non-St. Louis style.
Okay. And then what are St. Louis style?
The winner is the Big Dog, Emos. And then nominees, our friends over at Biggie's got nominated.
God bless. I was there Friday, saw David Price.
Never had the pizza there. It's
very good. I actually got the pizza.
Hell yeah. And then Liliana's.
That's a great answer. That's a nice play. That's a non-advertiser play there.
Yeah.
They're not spending a bunch of money.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Liliana's Italian
Not
Kitchen.
familiar with that.
Never been there.
Does it say where it is?
Nope. For sandwiches.
Oh, this is where we say sandwich.
This is, yeah. That's where people get up in arms. The winner...
Gramophone
nominated, did not win.
Blue City Deli.
Nominated, did not win.
Oh, Joya's.
Joya's is the winner. Look at Tim go.
Yeah. Not my thing.
Not mine either. But
really? Wow. We're the only podcast in St. Louis. That's like a thing. That's like a...
I know, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I like Joya's.
Like if I stood at the at midfield of a Doggies game and said that, I think everybody would come out and attack me.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they would go right after you.
And I got nothing against the Joya family.
No.
Whoever owns it, it's just not my thing.
Not my thing either. And like to me, Blue City Deli or Adriana's are
Gramophone.
head and shoulders above, but to each their own.
Yeah. Some people like
Things some people don't like other things.
let's see what else we got. There's better za than Dewey's. Sandwich and za. When you start discussing, you got to.
Yeah. Appease.
Let's see.
I like Dewey's.
Liliana's is Tessa and Ferry and Baptist Church Road. Wow, how about that? Look at St. Louis Magazine. Yeah. And yet the Battlehawks were not nominated.
Yeah, seems like all the symptoms are there.
Yeah, symptoms. Tim, I don't know why this question occurred to me today, but here it is. I know you have talked about the opportunity that was there in 2021 for you to move to KMOX to replace Rush Limbaugh. I would have never, for the record, I would have never talked about that had it not been in the newspaper. That's not the way that I try to do business, and I'd like to think I'm pretty consistent on that. And I remember when that happened, number one, I was out playing golf in Jupiter because I'm unrelatable, and I remember the program director from KMOX calling me and going, "Hey, Dan Caesar's calling me about," and my heart just dropped. Yeah. I can picture what hole I was on. Oh, pretty long carry too, like 175 over water.
Ooh.
Nothing but water too.
Yeah, I pulled the driver.
and my heart just dropped because I'm like, how the fuck
right
did that get out? But not saying anything, but just giving this piece of information in order for me under contract to get clearance while under contract to negotiate. I had to get clearance from my, at the time, current employer. Nonetheless.
Yeah. Feel we can put together.
To move to KMOX to replace Rush Limbaugh. So yes, that is true, but that was something that was going on behind the scenes up until someone decided to call the Post as batch.
Right.
And then actually, I think was actually quoted in the article, which is fucking amazing also. And your ultimate decision to keep doing TMA. And of course, the eventual move to HD2 some months later. So I'm not asking you to rehash the explanation of your decision-making process. My question is this: do you think that you could have done more, quote, good in the world by taking your views and talent to KMOX's platform? Such a move would potentially have given you the ability to have some serious political sway, whether locally or potentially nationally, either through having a platform to express your own viewpoints, a la Limbaugh, or through your interviews of guests. Do you ever have any thoughts about leaving all that on the table to stick with the, shall we say, somewhat less serious, but also less influential atmosphere of TMA? Wow, so says you.
Yeah, movers and shakers over here, bro.
Do you have any feelings that you should have done what was, quote, best for society versus what was best for the McKernan family? Thanks. That's from Brian L. No clever name, but I did graduate from St. Louis U High a few years ahead of you, so you're almost obligated to read this on the podcast. Wow. An older graduate of St. Louis U High.
Nice.
A few years ahead of me would be older, right? Like
they graduated a couple years before.
How about that?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't want to say, my initial, when I got this was sent last Wednesday, my initial thought was, I'm never going to do something that's, quote unquote, better for society than better for my family. But I disagree with that because I feel like a lot of the grifters that have populated media over the last, I don't know how many years, I'm sure everybody can kind of think of some.
Mm-hmm. I got a couple.
When I say that, and I'm talking more national, not local.
Both.
I don't even know. Is it going on local? I have no idea.
I don't know much about locally. But.
Right. But I mean, people like making like real money.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking well into the seven figures. What we talk about sometimes on TMA, or I talk about on this podcast, I see the playbook. The playbook is very easy to execute. I'm already in a position where I wouldn't have to go, let me start a podcast and then like be nuts on social media to get attention and then get an interview and then like take whatever the guy says out of context and then like try to destroy his career to lift mine up. But I'm already here in one sense with the platform, and I'm not saying, hey, look at me, how great I am and that I have these morals. Just for me, I can't justify I guess for lack of a better term, knowingly misrepresenting facts for a show, which I guess, therefore, is not best for my family because I'm leaving money on the table.
Yeah, but that's just looking at it from a monetary standpoint. Like,
well, I think the way the question's framed, though, is that I chose to do what was more money.
yeah,
And this person didn't want me to rehash the explanation of the decision-making process. But in 2021, and I think I have a different perspective on things now in 2024, but in 2021, my thought process was, if I leave KFNS, and I would have left, I remember they wanted me to start on opening day. So it was going to be a quick fucking turnaround because I was still down in Jupiter late March. I knew that, I didn't know, but having an understanding of the situation and it not being a real stable situation, that if I leave TMA, then it's going to be a domino effect on a bunch of people, potentially the place closing and losing their jobs. And at that time, I was like, the reason why you're calling me is not me. Now, you would say it's me, but I would say it's because of
this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Now, since then, you and I have gone and done a show on our own on 101. We've done this show. I have done Stupiracy. I'm working on another show. So I've kind of started to do my own things individually. But at the time, it was pretty much all TMA. And I didn't like the idea of me leaving. I think if I would have known for sure that KFNS would have stayed in business and everybody would have been okay, then that would have been a different thought process. And again, I want to reiterate, I don't know what I'm going to do. My contract, by definition, is up at the end of this year. I would be comfortable doing something on my own now. It's a different time. I have a family, and Doug and Iggy are at the latter portions of their career. I think if I called Doug and said, "Hey, I'm going to go do," I think Doug would be like, "Okay, well, that was fun."
Yeah.
I mean, he'd just be like,
Right.
And I have a responsibility to do what is best for my family within the realms of my own morals and ethics, which would be not lying to an audience. So that's an important thing. One of the things that I proposed actually to KMOX, and I'm not going to go into what they were proposing because that really would be, but I said, but you had only been on the show for fucking 2.5 months when that started.
Yeah.
Whatever the day Rush Limbaugh died was. That's when it all got going.
February something.
For real. That's what it was. So you had been with TMA for 2.5 months.
Yep.
And I made a pitch and I said, hey, I know you don't know who he is, but this, and how old were you then?
22.
22. Holy shit. For whatever reason, that sounds even more.
It is jarring.
Yeah, it is even more.
It is jarring.
I don't know why than 26. When 26, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I was 23 like pretty quickly
Right.
into my tenure, but yeah, I was 23.
I go, this guy, I think we could do like essentially I wanted to do QFTA.
Yeah.
Certainly be formatted from 11 to 2 on camera. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then that way I can go.
Right.
And I know it wouldn't have been all sports, but when there's sports of note, I could talk about it. And then politics of note, I can talk about it. And we can just go.
Yep.
And I honestly think it would have been incredibly successful. I really do. Really do. So anyway, I was absolutely intrigued by it. I wouldn't have gone to, the powers that be at KFNS and asked for the ability to have that conversation.
Right.
I guess, I don't know, man, when you play out the whole thing, it's been 3+ years. I didn't view it. I think maybe also this person, Brian L., I think maybe is thinking that I would have been replacing Rush Limbaugh on Rush Limbaugh's network.
No, just the syndicated version on.
I would have been taking the time slot on KMOX, like
Right.
whoever is doing that show now,
Right.
and I don't know who's doing that show now. I think who they decided to go with when I politely declined it, I don't think they're on still. But had I done it, it would have just been the time slot on KMOX. I wouldn't have been replacing Rush Limbaugh. So so the people who would have loved Rush Limbaugh, or the people who did or still do, love his legacy, would have obviously hated me.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, I knew, we went to Balloon Party, that wasn't going to be real popular.
Yeah.
And that's fine. All of that comes with the territory. That's the deal. What would be awful is if they're completely like, oh, this guy's no good, I'm not going to listen. I mean, they're going to hate. And hate's fine. Hate pays bills. But I don't think it would have been a world-changing thing. But I was intrigued by it because that actually stimulates me. As that topic. The thing is, that was 2021, and truly, after January 6th, I withdrew. I actually don't think I withdrew after January 6th. I withdrew like a few months later, so that was February 21, when like the people who were going, that was awful, like in the moment, like all of a sudden started changing the story about what happened. I go, oh wow, that's it. That'll do it. I'm out. I'm officially out. Yeah. And I happened to get back in for the Joe Biden-Donald Trump debate.
What a time to reappear.
And when I, what did you wind up paying me on that? What was it, 10-1 I gave you?
Yep, 10-1, and then we upped it.
So I risked 200 to win 20.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. You made the right play.
You made the right play?
We both did. I had a lot of value there.
No, sure, I agree with that.
Yeah, and I was winning the bet. It's like betting an under. You start winning.
Yeah,
that's how I rationalize it.
I get it. No, I get it. I mean, hey. And by the way, I might have wound up being right, my process being wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but ultimately,
it's like a golf shot that's like rolling on the green, and then it winds up 3 feet away. Oh, he must have hit a great shot. Actually,
he sculled it a little.
Sculled it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just like, it was all there. It was all there, and I would love to be able to talk about that stuff. Yeah. I mean, I can do it here, but don't do it on TMA per our agreement, and obviously do it on Balloon Party. But I love to be able to. I think I'm at my best when it's like we can talk about whatever. That's what I think. Now, I don't know that, but that's what I think.
So I have the most fun.
Yeah, when we can just go. That's why we like doing this program. But I don't think that it was going to be like a world-changing show. And I guess when it gets down to it, there may be a couple other factors in addition that wouldn't be right to expound on. I guess I will say this. If they would have, I mean, it was kind of a bad set of circumstances, because I think if it were now, and you would have been, as established as you are on both TMA, but probably even more so on 101, because that's reaching more people. I think that they would, because when I pitched it, it was kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's nice, but it wasn't like, oh no, he sucks. We're just like, no, for that time slot, we need somebody. Yeah. Who's established.
Sure, I get that.
And I get it, but I think that would have if like we could do this, and then somehow, and if there was like a producer who could get some really good guests we could have conversations with, not even necessarily the politicians per se, but like a circle of columnists, podcasters.
Right. With Little Donnybrook.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, but yeah, I mean, where we're talking about issues and we're going back and forth, and I'm at this point, and even at that point, so fine with like reading awful things. It's like, okay, it's fine. You can disagree with me. You will disagree with me, but that stimulates me. That intrigues me. But I need to be able to, fly, so to speak, without being reined in, and that might not have been the right spot.
Sure. And
I think you would have been. So if that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
If they would have said, yeah, we've listened to that. We like him. If that's who you feel most comfortable with, we want you driving the show. But if you want like a guy in there with you to like riff with, then all right, we'll give in on that. Yeah. We'll do that. That could have changed things.
Sure.
Yes. So yeah, but I mean, through the lens of like change, I don't think it would have changed the world, so to speak, because again, it wasn't Rush Limbaugh's network. It was in his syndicated show. It was KMOX's time slot. All right, anything going on in the YouTube chat? It's 12:27, Jackson.
No, we're talking about
fries. I see fries.
Was there a best fries? I can take a look right now.
Jackson is hitting these live ads hard today. Jackie Boy needs YouTube cash. You're hitting live reads.
So dumb. I watch like a lot of YouTube. I have never once seen someone complain to the person running the YouTube video or stream, you're running too many ads, and blaming the creator. I've never once seen that. Only on TMA would that be a thing. We do have a French fries.
Mount Rushmore?
No.
What do we got? I'd be curious.
So I've heard of one of these restaurants. I've heard of the winner. The winner was Steve's Hot Dogs.
For what? For fries?
Yeah,
wow,
really
I guess I got to check that out.
Buffalo and bacon topped Darth Tater version. So they got tater tots with buffalo and bacon. Mascots, never heard of that. And then Taste D Burger, which kind of sounds like a Kevin Miller email name.
Taste D Burger.
Taste D Burger. And that was the 3 French fries. I'll tell you what. If you ever go to a Dogs game, you go to the Olive and Oak stand. You just sell burger and fries at the Olive and Oak stand at City Park. The fries at Olive and Oak at City Park are the greatest fries I've ever had.
Wow.
They have
we got to take.
So, it's not the fries they have at the regular restaurant. I don't know. They season these fries to the point where if you were to dip them in ketchup, it would ruin the fry. That's how good this
These are the Olive and Oak fries. So these are different than the ones that they have at the restaurant?
Different than the ones that they have at the
What's
restaurant.
going on here?
I don't know what seasoning they're putting on these, but at Olive and Oak, me and my girlfriend could have just had a huge boat of those fries.
Give me those fries, boy.
Most unbelievable French fries I've ever had in my life, bar none.
Wow.
I don't know what the seasoning had put on there, but holy shit, so good.
Wow.
I almost want to go back to a Dogs game just
fries.
for that.
God.
Just for that.
Color me intrigued.
So good. Woo.
As we were sitting here, I was just sent an opportunity for a domain that has something to do with one of the many K1s.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm incredibly wealthy.
MMF.com.
That's actually what it is.
Yeah. Less popular at FF.com. That's a .net, actually.
So this domain is now available. The person wants me to know, and I can have it. They have lowered their valuation to between $100,000 and $250,000. It's a wide delta.
X.com.
It's X.com. It's available. So I might do. We might raise some capital to acquire this domain for between 100 or 2.5 times the valuation of 250,000.
Yeah, well, you take the money you didn't spend on the fan page.
That's true.
So many years ago.
Yeah.
Parlay that.
I've invested that, and that's now sitting there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Erotic stories on KMOX would have been incredible, wouldn't they?
How fast would they have pried us out of there? Start doing that shit.
Jackson on TMA mentioned that he will tuck his shirt in the back and not the front. Is he trying to show off his juicy dumper? That's from David Barnett.
No, not necessarily. Although, I'm not going to lie, it's a little shapely. But I like the way the shirt fits a little bit better if you tuck in the back.
And you condemn shirt tuckers.
Not necessarily. I just called the Cardinal front office shirt tuckers because I thought I would appeal to the common man. But well,
it didn't work.
Lo and behold, here I am.
Let's see what else we got going here. Steve's Hot Dogs, the same one you guys raised money for. Yep.
Yeah, but that was not a dig at Steve's Hot Dogs.
Yeah, Steve himself was not actually involved.
No, not at all. He's a great dude. He comes in here all the time. We have nothing but love for that. It's the way the situation went down with that totem. So
wow, what a time.
Try to separate Steve's Hot Dogs. There's good people there.
What a time. All right, let me see what we got here. I just got an email saying you got a sound story tomorrow. Yep, that's confirmed. And anything else in the YouTube chat, I'll go to it. Otherwise, I'm going to land the plane.
I got 3 sound stories next week.
Look at you.
3 days
in demand.
Yeah, well, like to do it. Love to do it.
In demand.
Love it.
Anything you want in the YouTube channel, go there. You want it. You got it. I'm going to give you
5 minutes.
Got James Carlton, the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, sponsoring this. He's a wonderful gentleman. I was hanging out with him yesterday. I was hanging out with him and Mark Milton yesterday, and they had never met each other. And I just assumed they knew each other.
Yeah, world-class gentleman.
Absolutely. We got Mark Hanna, world-class gentleman as well. Online at evergreenstl.com. Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. We got Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. And then Seth Goldcamp, Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com. Official HVAC provider, FTMA, and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. I guess that's going to do it. But I went through 3 emails. Yeah. I got another one. It's Cardinals related, so I'll just save it. It's about the ownership situation, not necessarily like are they selling, but what's going on.
God, I love the football's back, so we don't have to talk about the Cardinals all the time. Like, I like talking about the Cardinals, don't get me wrong, but
I just don't know. I did get an email, I guess it's for QFTA, it's probably saved, Like, do you ever get tired of saying, I don't know how much I don't. It's a tough spot in this market when the Cardinals are bad, the Blues are in an off season, and you don't have NFL, and you're not sure what the appetite is for college football. It was really interesting to me this morning, and we're talking on Tuesday, September 3rd, and I put it out there because I was doing it, again, kind of a case study on 101 to see what people thought the lead was. And if it was just going to be Cardinals, I'd be like, God, boy, this is going to be tough. And it wasn't like people saying Mizzou, Murray State, because that game was played on Thursday, and we had done a show since then, but it was college football. And it was really a lot of Boston College, and like, how does this impact Missouri?
Right.
And I love seeing that, not because I'm a Missouri fan, because you got to take that stuff out. You know, as I oftentimes say on that station in particular, I love golf. I didn't care about this weekend. I care about majors, but I don't allow the fact that I love the game. I don't talk about it on there, you know, because I know that's not something that they care about for the most part, so I'm not going to do it. But I like that I see college football charging up the interest rankings in the St. Louis area. And I think that's a great thing.
Agreed.
And I think it's a good thing for Missouri, but I just think overall it's a hugely popular sport. I'm really anxious to see what winds up happening this year with this playoff. Yeah. Like, both of us right now on September 3rd think it's going to be a great thing. But I don't know. Maybe as it goes along, we'll go, oh, this is taken, you know, I don't know. Maybe it isn't as good. I mean, from my standpoint, it's like, yeah, Missouri can lose, I guess, even to Boston College. And I'd go, okay, well, I mean, they still can, you know, at that point, though, they probably can't lose again.
No.
You know?
No, they cannot.
Yeah. But at least you get, because, I mean, how many teams would you look back on and go, God, that was a great team, and they didn't even get to play for the national. They didn't even finish. You know what I mean?
So often. And I think what used to my evolution on college football is interesting because, like, when the Rams were here in the NFL, like I always say about college football, like I was like, I like it a lot, but like there's sometimes where you're watching, they're like, this player really, like, these players make some really bad plays, like some plays you just never see in the NFL. Like you get cut out. You're not going to play in the NFL if you make a play like that. Now, and maybe it's partially because we don't have the NFL, but like that's the kind of shit I like. Yeah. Like last night, like Boston College had like a wide open 40-yard game. The guy dropped the ball. Yeah. Or like think back to Ohio State and Georgia when the Ohio State kicker just absolutely shanked the field goal. Like that element of like these are still kids, and like while like certainly get paid and some of them are as good as any player in the world, there is still that element of like this is a step above high school football. Yeah. Like some of these kids can really still mess up. And I like that element. It keeps you on your toes. It creates stuff like the kick six. Like I don't think the kick six ever happens in the NFL, but it happens in college because it's a pandemonium and it's crazy. Yeah. I love that element to it. Now with the expanded playoff, you're gonna have a real test to see who the best team in the nation is. Like I think it's great that St. Louis is, and I think it's great timing that Mizzou is good right now.
I couldn't agree with you more on that.
Well, those two things running parallel, I think it could really create a real great college football culture in St. Louis. And I think that we're desperate for that. And by extension, like I think I love what Bill O'Brien's doing in Boston because the Northeast has a major gap in their sports fandom where it's just college football is a nothing to a lot of the Northeast.
Which is why, again, I know I'm looking at this through a Missouri lens, but when you look at the college football schedule the week of Missouri-Boston College, yeah, I wouldn't pick that in a vacuum, but because Georgia's got Alabama, Georgia's got whoever the fuck else, they got Texas and Ole Miss, I believe, still. I think they might have Oklahoma too. I mean, their schedule is.
On that, but they definitely have going to Ole Miss later.
So that Georgia's going to be on there plenty, and I just don't think Kentucky is. Like, I don't think, like, in Lexington, they're going to be like, fuck yeah, this is our chance. They're going to be like, oh, God, we're going to get skull-fucked. I just don't think there's going to be a lot of enthusiasm for that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that they're. Well, we talk about hopium. I think that their hopium is run deep in Big Blue Nation.
Wasn't their win total 7.5 this year?
Yeah, they probably have a brutal schedule. I mean, if they're playing Georgia week 3.
Either way, whatever. Point being, I'm high on Missouri and Boston College having a chance.
Sure.
If Boston College were located in Arizona or Texas, I would say no. But because they can actually get people in the Northeast going, I think that's why it might have a larger chance than...
Yeah, no, I think that's a good angle at it.
And then Alabama and Wisconsin, Alabama's going to be on there in a couple of weeks with Georgia. I mean, you just assume.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what I think is actually really in play. They go to like a small school.
They do that once a year. Once a year they go to
This might be the small school. But I thought they usually do that when the team's like kind of on a roll, and it's like that November before rivalry weekend.
It's almost always the end of the season, like they did James Madison a couple of years ago. They've been to James Madison actually a couple times.
Yeah.
Usually it's towards the end of the year when like
Memphis, Florida State could have been something.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God,
it ain't going to be it now.
No, definitely not now. But I feel like especially now with the Group of 5 team that's going to get into the college football playoff, they're going to want to save their game day for that Group of 5 school that's likely going to go at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So if that's Memphis, they might pick a random rivalry game that they have at the end of the year.
By the way, is Boston College ranked? I assume they are.
In the AP
crowdsourcing
25, I don't know if they are, Tim.
I would be shocked. I'm not going to bet it because there's a chance you're looking at it. And it'd be
no,
bad
I wouldn't
wager.
do that. I wouldn't do that. Tim, Boston College is not ranked.
Are you horse fucking me out here? Oh my God.
They are not ranked in the top 25.
What the fuck?
I think FSU might be shit in their minds of the AP top 25. But it's a road win. That's what I think. Like, that's what does it. Like, if you win at the Doak at night, to me, that's worth against a top 10 team. Now,
Georgia Tech is not ranked. A&M is now out.
Yeah. That seems like a little, if you're going to be dropping A&M completely out, seems a little brash, and not putting Boston College in seems a little weird.
I don't know what, I suppose you go, well, we can't remove, who can we remove? I mean, there's one team that's 0-1 that's in there. There's one team with a loss, and it's LSU at 19.
Yeah.
Wow. See, the thing is about Georgia Tech and also Boston College is they looked good.
Yeah.
Now, DJU looked bad.
Totally.
Florida State looked bad. Don't get me wrong, but God, they moved the ball. Wow, I am legitimately surprised by that. So that means Missouri currently has, give me a moment, 2 ranked teams on their schedule. And now I am moving
Bama, Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I am moving my percentage for the Boston College game day down. I thought for sure they'd be ranked.
No.
And they're way back there, by the way. They're like 34th, if 35th.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech's 26, A&M's 27, Memphis 28, Kentucky 29, Boise State 30, SMU 31, Auburn 32, Wisconsin 33, Iowa State 34, Tulane 35, UNLV 36, Liberty 37, Maryland 38, Nebraska 39, Boston College 40.
40?
I mean,
jeez. They look damn good.
I don't know. I've got to tell you, if you can buy up some Boston College stock, we read their schedule on Balloon Party, and I'm going, Boston College has 1 ranked team to play in there in Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, they might be like the most live team to play Miami for the ACC championship. If they can.
Or Jackson, are we just firing some money on Boston College to win it all?
What if Boston College they lose to Missouri but get a bye in the college football playoff?
And Missouri's on the outside looking in.
Yep.
Oh, I just live on Tiger Board.
Yeah, that's how. But with the SEC, I mean, they did not have a good showing this weekend. SEC.
They really didn't, and I didn't get I get you don't like Blake Baker, and I understand that.
I don't get the hate on him. I totally respect the move. His wife's from Baton Rouge. He's like the highest paid assistant coach in all of football.
Either way, I wanted LSU to win.
Yes.
I mean, that's the bottom, because that's good for Missouri. I wanted A&M to win, and I'm a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah. Although I did have a side bet with my buddy on Notre Dame, so.
And what's that side bet?
I bet him a 6-pack of beer that Notre Dame would win outright.
Oh, nice. Championship game winner. Oh, this is for these other conferences. So what the fuck is this thing?
For the ACC, that would be that's an interesting play.
It's not listed?
Good,
it's not listed as an option. SEC Missouri is plus 1,600.
Let me take a look. See if I can find that.
And then national championship. Yeah, there's not an ACC. There's AAC.
Probably scared.
Championship game winner, Big Ten. Ohio State's plus 140. Oregon's plus 210. Nittany Lions plus 450. All right, there it is. I don't know what to say. All right, let me go to YouTube chat. Anything else? Carlos Spice winner. Silver Dollar City this weekend. Concerning amount of rascal scooter usage and many, many unfortunate smells. You want to cover that? Oof.
Hard pass.
Or the smells. Did Tommy Madden and John Kioski help Jackson find his new place?
No, I found this.
You didn't email him?
I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh man, maybe. but I ended up not doing it. I'm trying to find.
Vandy and BC could become good wins. Do you think that's a factor to get in the playoffs at 10-2? Yes, if they wind up being good.
I got odds on the ACC championship.
What do we got?
For the winner of the ACC championship, Boston College. If you put $100 down on BC, you would win $4,000.
So 40-1.
Yeah.
Who's the favorite? Miami?
Miami at plus 180. Clemson still up there at plus 300. Louisville plus 750. SMU plus 1,000. NC State plus 1,000. VT plus 1,400. Georgia Tech plus 1,800. Florida State plus 3,000.
Nice.
North Carolina plus 3,500. Boston College plus 4,000. It's a lot of value there.
Awesome. I mean, yeah.
There's so much value there. Man, their schedule is like really like I'm going to read.
It's alarming. I mean, this is into the weeds for this program to go into Boston College football. But I'm just telling you,
We live in
as
the
far as impressive, that was impressive.
So they get Duquesne next, Missouri after that, then Michigan State at home, Western Kentucky at home, travel to Virginia, travel to Virginia Tech. That game's going to be hard. Louisville at home, Syracuse at home, SMU in Dallas, UNC at home, and then finish off with Pitt at home. That is not, I mean, that is, for an ACC schedule.
I mean, they
already,
could very well have a rematch 40 years later from Doug Flutie's Hail Mary against the Hurricanes.
Yeah, for real.
Meanwhile, Vanderbilt's going to be undefeated coming into Columbia. I mean, at least they should be. I guess we're talking Vanderbilt here, but they play Alcorn State, Steve McNair, and Georgia State.
Marcus Carroll.
Somehow they're going on the road to Georgia State. That's the second most egregious SEC road game of the year.
Yeah, and then they come to Missouri on the 21st.
God, how about Vanderbilt? They from the Georgia State road trip, they go to Columbia, then they host Roll Tide at Kentucky. Little respite against Ball State. At home against Texas, at Auburn.
Oof.
Versus South Carolina, at LSU, versus Tennessee to wrap up.
Boy, South Carolina, that was a close one with Old Dominion.
That's your place. That's where you played, didn't you?
That's my team, yeah. And they have a freshman quarterback, Lenora Sellers, who I actually like a lot. I think he will be good, but he's either a true or redshirt freshman. So he's a redshirt.
So you're not worried about what Shane Beamer's got cooking down in South Carolina for November?
I think Shane Beamer is going to be on LinkedIn come December.
Is that right?
I do. And they have a tough schedule, and they should be better. Like the fact that they had to win with a late score against Old Dominion. Now it's week 1. Mizzou almost messed up against Middle Tennessee State last year, so I'm going to give them a wider berth. But they go to Kentucky this weekend. Then they go at home against LSU. They could start out 1-2 and then have Akron coming home.
Zips.
Ole Miss coming to town, and they go oh my God, listen to this. They go Ole Miss at home, to Tuscaloosa, then to Norman, Oklahoma, and then at home against A&M.
Wow.
I don't know if Shane Beamer makes it to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's going to be putting him to the test.
I don't know if he makes it to Vandy against Simsbury, and then you get the Mayor's Cup on November 16th.
I got to see if the high school guy who runs my book, and he owes me some money
I
after
couldn't even get an Oklahoma State bet in on that thing.
Oh, you use the same
It's the
thing
same
now?
software.
Oh.
I think all these guys use the same software. You can only bet on the Charlotte 49ers.
I really want some Boston College futures if it's really 40-1. College football playoffs. Let's see what we got here. Is Boston College even given an option? No. Great. See if Missouri's plus 4,000 to win the whole thing.
So this okay.
So that means Boston College, but this like I said is goofball land. This thing.
But winning the ACC is not impossible.
I am telling you,
that is not impossible. Like.
And you know what? Good. Number one, good that they did that. Missouri can't overlook them. It's going to be an early game. And number two, it helps Missouri schedule-wise. You know, if they are legitimate, that's a great thing. I am shocked that they're 40th. Shocked. I am shocked. Now, I mean, I have to say, this is like when people start giving sports takes in college. You didn't see them play. I mean, I happened to see Georgia Tech and A&M play. I didn't see any Memphis, Kentucky, Boise State, SMU, War Eagle, Badgers, Cyclones, Tulane, UNLV. UNLV, I guess, was impressive this weekend, but I didn't see it. Liberty, Maryland, Nebraska. So it's not like I can speak on this, but I don't know. I'm really surprised they're not. I mean, Washington and Louisville got into the top 25 now. I don't know.
Clemson
has a loss too, and they're still in there.
Yeah.
Wow, Clemson's still ranked.
They looked so bad against Georgia. They looked like they shouldn't have even belonged in the same field. I know the score was only 34-3. I feel like they could have won 70-3. On my little weak-ass high school book, you can get Boston College for plus 2,200.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing.
So I guess we'll drive to Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, for real,
cash.
it's 100% worth it.
Yeah.
All right, Jackson, we'll shut it down. Thank you, everybody, for watching and or listening to QFTA questions from the audience. Send things in. I'm happy to talk about anything.
It's true. I've witnessed him talk about literally anything.
Yeah, T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. For Jackson Bennett Burkett, I'm Timothy Michael McKernan. This has been QFTA and the Tim McKernan Show.